Welcome back to Tasteland. I'm Francis Zier.
And I'm Daisy Alioto.
And we have no guests today. It's just us.
No, we're just going to riff.
End of the year. Last episode of the year. New Year's Eve episode. 2025, 2026, 2027.
But we're recording it on December 23rd. So, take that into account.
Christmas Eve episode. If only we were recording this 2 days later. I don't want to record on Christmas, obviously, but I am going to go see Marty Supreme tomorrow night. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Ben just forwarded me our free A24 members club tickets too, but I don't know if we can hit that window because we're going to be the free tickets are between like the 25th and 29th or
What's
something.
What's the A24 members club?
You get like benefits, like they send you a zine and they send you something on your birthday. Ben's a member. We got a mug. Oh. I accidentally destroyed it by microwaving it too many
times. I think that's actually probably for the best because you get too many mugs and you kind of just have to put some on the street anyways for people to take because your cabinet gets too full.
I have some mugs that have been around since my frontal lobe wasn't developed.
Really? I certainly don't.
Well, I will be having a New England Christmas and I saw a cool TikTok. I actually didn't know this. So I kind of took for granted the whole putting a candle in your window in New England thing.
I don't know what that is.
Massachusetts is sort of the epicenter. So no, I mean, people put like tall white tapers in each of their windows. And, they've gone through different evolutions. The modern version, it's electric, it's on a timer. There were all these comments about like, remember when you had to like run around the house and turn them all on? I'm like, I sure do. And they were so annoying. They were always falling off the windowsill, but very pretty. And kind of like the classic New England house is, I think it's like Georgian style where it's like, of the King George era where you say up like this kind of colonial style home. It's like flat on the front. Okay. And then each window you have a candle, right? And then just like a single green wreath on the door with like a red bow. That's the sort of classic New England home. And so what I saw
spare
was
yet celebratory.
Spare yet celebratory. Like basically they were saying it's an Irish tradition. It was a way to indicate that Catholics and priests were welcome in the home during like the Protestant rule. So they were saying that like Irish immigrants brought this to New England, and because Massachusetts is really like a high Irish population, that's why this is a Massachusetts, New England, but like specifically Massachusetts thing. I genuinely didn't know that. I never really thought about it that much, but we always had that. I'm pretty sure my parents have candles still like in their window. So kind of cool.
I never did that, but when I was a small child, we stopped it probably by the time I was like 5 or something. But when my family lived out in the mountains and had the farm out there, this is a German tradition. My dad's German. We would have real candles on the tree. These like short red candles that are like 2 or 3 inches high, probably 2.5 inches. And you would light a bunch of candles on the tree, which seems insane to me now. Which incidentally, long after we moved out of that place, out of that farm, the barn, we did live in a barn. That barn did burn down, but I don't believe it was due to any Christmas related flames.
Yeah, real candles on the tree is so risky. The thing is, like these, some of the fake candles now, they're really nice and accurate. Like I have some of the battery powered, more like pillar candles, and they're waxy, and then the way they have the wick, it like does really give this illusion that it's flickering.
Yeah.
So those are kind of fun to break out in the doldrums. I feel like there's a lot of invisible labor that goes along with this time of year, and I definitely feel like a lot of holiday pressure.
Have you performed any such labor?
I've performed a lot of that labor. It's like I have my mom texting me, what does Ben want for Christmas? I have his mom texting me, what does Ben want for Christmas? It's just like it adds up,
You've got Ben like, texting you, what do I want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? If you like when you're kind of like responsible, and especially if you're like really sensitive to making sure other people's emotional needs are met, then it can feel like an all out just like assault of competing priorities. But whatever, I'm working on that. I did like like even the guy at the post office got me good. I went to the post office. I was mailing 16 packages. And he was like, why are you doing all of this? I'm like, first of all, sir, you work in the post office. So like, you don't see people mailing a lot of packages.
You go to the grocery store, the cashier's like, why are you buying all these carrots?
Yeah. It's kind of like, do people not do this anymore? I was telling him, like, I was answering really honestly. I was like, my mom always sent holiday packages, so I send holiday packages.
Oh, because he's more like, well, why didn't you just buy all this shit on Amazon?
He was kind of like, no, he was kind of like, it's really nice of you to do all this, like, for your friends. I was like, well, they, like, few people who mean something to me, it was a combination of my friends and people who've like have been like close dirt contributors. I'm like, I want people to feel valued, and this is like one of the ways I show it. And then he was like, well, do people send stuff to you? It's like, what if I was just like, no? I'm like, yeah, people do send stuff to me. People send me really nice stuff, like, and it was just like so funny. Like, he was genuinely inquisitive, like, why is this person under 35 coming in with all these holiday packages? And then I was like, do people not send holiday packages anymore? You should do a dirt 35 under 35 in 20 next year. Yeah, that would be fun.
26 under 26.
It was interesting though. Yeah. But we could I have a holiday card on its way to you, by the way. Sorry to spoil the surprise. I got to the post, the actual post box with the cards like a little late, so I think it'll come after Christmas.
That's very nice. I don't really. I'm not a big gift sender myself, honestly. These days, maybe a little exchange among friends at the dinner, at Christmas dinner. But yeah, I'm a really. We got the
Christmas cards from friends with kids with the family photos.
Yeah, I have that from my sister.
Yeah, and like I will definitely do that in the future. But since it's just Ben and I, I'm not going to put a photo of Ben and I on the card. But I did order nice cards that say all of them are printed with Happy Holidays from Ben and Daisy. And then I ran out and I doubled down and ordered more fancy cards, but for New Year's. And so I'll have to do another round. So I feel like some of these holiday pressures are like pressures we all put on ourselves. But then my parents have a binder with every holiday card they ever received from every family. And it's crazy because you could just like watch these kids grow up.
I love the archival instinct.
Who are these people? You know, like some of them I never really even knew them that well. My mom's like, oh, I went to college with this person type thing. So I don't know. I feel like I want to have a big circle, you know, like it's just too easy to.
Do you like, are you an archiver of ephemera like that? Like, do you have like a stack of binders?
I really do think I really try to keep every card people send me. So I do have like boxes with them just thrown in loose. Someday I have to like organize. Yeah.
I did want to talk about dirt books because you've been dripping this out a little bit over the past week or so.
December news dump.
There was the little cut mention, and then.
Do you want to hear what really happened? I'm going to tell you this exclusive story of what really happened.
Okay.
Well, some people already know this. You're going to think it's really funny because this is definitely something. So.
You texted the wrong person that this thing was coming out, and
you
let a journalist into your group chat where you were planning this publishing.
Not even that. Well. Like Michelle Santiago Cortez was like, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, who leaked it? And I was like, girl, who do you think? I either rage baited them or was rage baited by them into telling them this. So what happened was I DM'd Jasmine on Instagram. Shout out to Jasmine who writes book gossip. And I was like, hey, we have this new podcast, The Desire Question. Like, I think it's really awesome and innovative and you should talk to Laura, the host. And she was like, well, we're kind of like really trying to focus on like actual gossip. And I was like, about time. And industry news. And I was like, well, yeah, blank has really set the standard high. So I was like, so she's like, it's not a good fit. And I'm like, okay, well, in that case, definitely don't print that we're going to start publishing books.
So she rage baited you into giving gossip.
I guess she did rage bait me. But then I quickly tried to rage bait her to make sure the message really stuck. So she was like, well, that does sound interesting. And I just like left her on red. And then there were
Just
like some follow-ups.
That was awful.
And I was like, yeah. So anyway, I didn't know if my my mutual rage baiting was successful until people started sending it to me, and I was like, wow, rage baiting works. But I'm so grateful that they did print something. It was fine. It really wasn't. It's not premature for like where we're at now, which is we have one title that I'm working on. I need to do some more editing
coming
this afternoon.
Perhaps Q1.
June probably, but we'll like actually announce the title and put up pre-orders in January. And and so then of course Emily Sundberg, friend of the podcast, wanted to ask some follow-up questions, so I trickled a little bit more out that way, and then we posted our logo, some of our branding.
I like the logo. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, that's been really fun. So yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, I have been like, I keep telling people like I'm winging it, but that's not really true. Like, we've been thinking about this for a while. Yeah. It's just that it's like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. And like, there was a lot of exploration that happened like a couple years ago where I was talking to larger imprints or larger publishing houses about having a dirt imprint within them. We at one point tried to pitch an anthology that we would write, and that nobody bought it. So what I was like, oh, I want to have something that's like books that go with dirt. Like, it wasn't like my first tactic was like, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
It was just like the more conversations I had and realized how slow and hard it is to do it when you involve other people, the more I kind of got pushed towards like, you know what? We could do this. Like, I'm seeing other people do really interesting stuff independently. It's really hard, but it's like not that much harder than what we already do, being a company that distributes media and sometimes physical goods.
Well, you know what I want, which this is a little too big. It's almost this size. I want more books that I have this journal like that, like this size, more like inner breast pocket size books that are, you know, for days where I'm going out and I don't really want to like have too much in my bag or even to have a bag at all, but I want like a book to read on the train. Like, I'm trying to not look at my phone.
Yeah, the guy that wrote Schadenfreude, Michael Lentz, Isolari.
Wait, I'm gonna out myself and say I've heard the name of this book a lot, and I've heard people talk about it a lot. I don't know anything about it. I picked it up at Topo's right now at the bookstore in Ridgewood here, and I looked at it and I put it back down. I haven't been ready to engage.
You weren't rage baited into buying?
No,
I don't know what it's about, but I am staring at a copy that was sent to my house. Anyway, like Isolari they do the really tiny books. You've talked
about this like a few times, yeah.
Well, because I was reading it on the train because it's my first book, and this guy was like, "Excuse me, like, sorry to bother you. Like, what is that?" Because he's like, this woman's engrossed in like this tiny book, and I explained to him like it's Isolari. They do all these different titles. They did one about Gaza that I really wanted to get Ben for Christmas, but I don't think it's on sale yet. So I got him a different book.
No. Will you reveal exclusively on this podcast?
I will reveal exclusively on this podcast that I did buy him Keith McNally's memoir, because so much of the beginning of the memoir is about the theater scene in London, and I thought he would enjoy that part of it. Yeah, I
really enjoyed that book. It's one that like I bought it a few months after all the hype, and it was just one I was like, oh, maybe this will be like an easy read. I think I was going on a trip, and it felt like a good beach read, as it were, and it really was.
That's the gift I haven't given to him yet. I gave him the Lalabo, and I got him a Night Gallery long sleeve Ethel Cain shirt. Nice.
One of my songs of the year. Did you fill out friend of the pod Ethan Sawyer's song album of the year?
Yeah, but I was kind of in a rush. And sorry, Ethan, I feel like I didn't give him like my true answer.
I did like a bit of a cheat where I gave him one album and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 songs.
I didn't know he was asking for both. I thought he was asking for one or the other. So I sent him my song, and then he was like, album, ? And I just like named the first one that came to mind.
Oh, what was it? Not to scoop it.
Vanities by Malibu, or no?
I haven't listened to it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I bet you can predict. It's really predictable what my album of the year was.
It was, well, Was it Cameron Winter? Because that technically came out in 2024.
Yes, and so let me say, Ethan wrote a whole piece about this and how he was annoyed by the end of year list industrial complex. No, I picked an album. I cheated by picking 10 songs, but I did not cheat by picking songs that did not come out in 2025 or albums.
Okay, I mean that's fine.
But I did pick Geese's "Getting Killed" because it was the only album that came out this year that I listened to really as an album a lot instead of like, there's this one song.
I said that my song of the year was "Bored Alone" by Billy Woods, and then I said "Vanities" by Malibu for album of the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that I would change that answer. Like, that's an acceptable answer to me. I think this is gonna sound really bad, but like I kind of realized that once Twitter was making like Spotify links bad and people were sharing less Spotify links and I was sharing less Spotify links, I kind of fell off like tracking my music and my playlists. And I was like, well, I guess my interest in music was performative this whole time, because it was like I used to make more playlists of stuff that I was currently listening to share. I mean, outside of the ones that I
not a playlist guy. I've never been making playlists for people or for myself even.
I feel like you've revealed that before. Yeah.
But I do like maybe once a week, not always. I will post a YouTube link of a song to Twitter, and typically you and maybe one other random person will like it. So I appreciate that, because I'm horrible at Twitter. I've said this multiple times on this
I like the music video you were in.
Oh yeah. I don't think I told that story. That was fun. They also credited me wrong, but it's Flood by Suicide Year. In 2017, I had just moved to New Orleans and I didn't have a job yet, and I was looking at Craigslist for jobs and gigs. I was working in the service industry at the time, and I found this, and I was a fan of Suicide Year's music. Listener, if you don't know him, you may know him for, I think he produced Ginseng Strip by Young Lean. He produced one of Young Lean's early hits, but he's from Louisiana as well. But the Lucky Me label guys were in town to film this video, and I spent a day with them. And basically,
it's on an EP song called Hate Songs, by the way. I feel like that's important
detail. The Suicide Year album. I mean, yeah. It is Hate Songs, which it's really just a beat. There's no lyrics, but the premise of this video is like this, which has nothing to do ostensibly with the song. Is it's like this future sci-fi New Orleans, Louisiana world where like everybody is stuck in like a VR video game where they're, playing like big robots fighting each other. But I was a character who had gotten caught up in playing this game. And so at one point you do hear me talking about how, I don't think it'll affect me. I've heard of bad stuff happening to other people, as in like, maybe their attention span gets totally ruined or something. But I spent a day with them, and then I walked home in the pouring rain, and they miscredited me. It's like Francis Zesis. They replaced the R's with S's.
They thought that was cooler. They spoke their truth.
Paid me $70, I think. I had a good time.
It's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, other Tasteland book syllabus of the year. I'm trying to remember what other authors we spoke to. We spoke at the very beginning there. We spoke to Mike Pepe about his book Against Platforms. We spoke to Cora Lewis about Information
He's still
Age.
Against Platforms. I follow him on Twitter. He's
still against them.
Be against.
He hasn't come around. Elon hasn't paid him. So
Mike Pepe can't be bought, everyone.
Mike Pepe can't be bought, and you heard it here first. Finally, Sloppy by Rax King. I think it's just those three. For those four.
Said Information Age already?
Yeah. Those four if we count notes.
Oh, those are good. I actually think that really shows the gamut of our interests. Mm-hmm. They're all books that tackle taste in a very different way. What Mike's book is kind of looks at the way technology shapes taste. Mm-hmm. I think to a certain extent Cora's as well, although it's also about like the way that media uses technology. Mm-hmm. And then with like Rax, it's very like, personalized, but to me, it's sort of about the way that addiction shapes our taste, which is not something that we've delved into super deeply in other episodes. But I think that was probably one of my favorite nonfiction books I read this year.
Sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. Just to be totally clear, looking back at the list, some other like technicalities in the book realm. We did have Bookshop's Andy Hunter, not as an author, but as, you know, a bookseller. We had W. David Marks, but this was before his new book Blank Space came out.
Oh, we got to count him though.
We got to count him. And then we had Kyla Scanlon on. You were absent for that episode. We did get into it. She's published a book, I think it was last year, but we got into that a little bit. Matt Rothbard, but he had not recently published. He's a published author. But these are all the authors we've had on, I believe. Yeah, I think Against Platforms is one that it feels like it was 2 years ago I read that, because as a way to start the year, I felt like it was very influential, and I recommended it to people. I bought it for a few people. It's such like a simple and clear repudiation of platform culture, which, you know, more and more you could call it the techlash, whatever. I've definitely read in a few 2026 predictions articles that this is going to be the year that people really turn away and back to the dumb phones, which I feel like I've read that for the past couple of years, and it's probably been true all of these years. But at the same time, it's never a big enough techlash, a big enough return to mode, which I should say, I think I talked about this a week or two ago, that I'd put a screen time limit on my phone, an hour a day for Instagram and Twitter total. I think it disappeared. There's a chance I just turned it off, but I don't remember doing that. And I think I clicked like ignore limit for the day enough times that it just turned it off.
Ben lost his Twitter. He took too long of a break and he didn't sign back in. And so Pasta Ben, which is like the account that
I'm a follower,
rage baited me into going on a date with him. Dust in the wind.
I forgot about that.
Dust in the wind. Yeah, it's weird. I agree. It's like we've been talking about this for a while. I mean, there does seem to be like more breakthroughs, more objective examples of like what can happen. So, you know, that article about the schools, like locked up the phones, students start doing better. Great. Like objectively, this changed the outcome. But will I log off? I make no promises. And mainly because I think it is boring to hear other people talk about their relationships with technology. Like, despite the fact we do that on this podcast a lot.
Almost every episode we're doing it now.
It's boring. I mean, also, I guess it's boring in the same way people think listening to somebody else describe their dream is boring. Mm-hmm. I personally am always interested in somebody describing their dream.
Yeah.
But I can understand that it's not.
Strung came out this year, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm about to blow your mind.
Okay.
Blank came out this year. Strong came out this year. Clone came out this year.
It's a lot of stuff. There was a time, I think these all came out within like a month of each other. There was a time where I felt like you were releasing something new every time we spoke. You're like, oh, well, this is coming out.
Yeah, then I flopped. No, I went into
clams famously kind of live underground, so.
But yeah, we had that burst of energy in the spring. Summer for me was really about like technical and product stuff that's not public yet. And then, you know, we got Boom, Dirt Books, and Under the Wire. So, you know, I don't think anyone would say, and the two other podcasts. So I don't think anyone would say like Dirt Books or Dirt Media didn't do enough this year. But I'm always focused on the next thing.
Mm-hmm. I sent a lot of newsletters at Creator Spotlight this year.
Sent a lot of newsletters.
Well, as we speak, I think it's 89, 88. We got 18 point some million impressions across those newsletters. Best piece we published this year was, we brought in an assistant editor, Natalia Perez Gonzalez. She's great. She did this great, probably the most well-reported piece we've published so far at Creator Spotlight, this piece on the creator economy scene in Chicago, which is interesting because a lot of the people I speak to are in New York, partially because I'm in New York and I'll meet them here. And, you know, it's New York, big city, good place to work in that industry. But it was sort of an interesting portrait of like a scene being built and some people trying to build like grassroots community connecting creators, so to speak, in Chicago. And then other people trying to, I'm not going to say exploit, but like, you know, a lot of the people I've spoken to who work on the agency side, who connect creators with brands. This is something I specifically remember from a holiday party I was at about a year ago for like more executive side creator economy people. For very few of these agencies, or management companies are the creators, the customer, right? It's always the brand, because the brand has the money, which tracks with like how the relationship creators have with platforms is also one where they're typically being exploited, right? So getting it away from the Chicago piece a little bit, which was really good, but increasingly, like when my ongoing thing that I've asked so many people when I have them on the Creator Spotlight podcast is like, what is a creator? And about a year ago, I thought I had a pretty good definition, and it's kind of disintegrated for me a little bit. It's lost a bit of meaning as like, the Washington Post is starting their creator program, and you see other media companies trying to build their creator program. And it's like whether it's a company or an individual person or a traditional media company, they're all making things that, look somewhat similar, whether the production value is really high or low, but it's all like leveraging these kind of creator norms to publish content. And so the longer there's like it's like one of those, bell curve things where like when I started, I was like, well, a creator is just like, somebody who posts to platforms, I think. And then in the middle, I'm like, okay, a creator is a independent person who produces digital media, publishes it on these platforms, and they have to be independent and they're bootstrapped and blah, blah, blah. And then now I'm kind of coming back to a creator is just somebody who makes content that's published on platforms, which then like, what does that word even mean? And is it just media? So this is something I've been chewing on, is like, in the next year, will the creator economy eat everything, or will it just be eaten by media and people will stop using this word? I think it's like, I'm thinking about it too much, and probably the word will be used more. Like as you see traditional media companies starting to use the word and have like creator programs, but like that's actually a little bit behind the curve. And maybe I think by 2030, the word will not be in use anymore, or it will just be how we refer to all media.
I think that's true. And I also think like a word being used more is not mutually exclusive with it being meaningful. Like I think there's an inflationary effect where it's like the more it's used, the less meaning it has. And like you might have to like decamp, to a different word.
Might have to change the name of the newsletter that I write. We'll see about that.
Well, yeah, we have a tradition that we do with Dirt for the end of the year, where we vote. We have the readers select like the top stories, and we also have everyone sign a poster. And I was checking in on the poster to make sure everyone's behaving. Nicholas Russell has signed his name and written drawn a pretty cool skull. So I appreciate that.
We love skulls.
I don't see anything inappropriate unless people are doing it really tiny. Long, he signed his name really big, which I respect a lot. I signed my name pretty big. Happy holidays, you filthy animals. Rob in Chicago, thank you. Somebody seems to have hidden a maybe like T for T invitation in here, which I also respect. Oh, Francis, you're in here right now.
Yeah, we're in the Figma together here.
We're in the Figma. I love this tradition. I'm sure Kat's monitoring it for inappropriate iconography, but I also trust our readership, which I like. And I'm looking at the responses. So it's only been not that long. So I feel like we're still in the zone where I like can't tell if people are just voting for their own stuff. But I will say Song So High seems to be cleaning up in these reader awards.
Your 7,000 word piece that I still have not read. Not yours, but that you published.
You should read it. I think you'll like it. Yeah. We also, Paula Mejia, former guest of the pod, edited our December issue. It was really focused on archives. And we had a great Jeff Weiss piece about Britney Spears and the tabloids.
One of our best living music writers.
He's very talented, but the whole issue is great. So highly recommend checking that out.
Any votes for the one piece I published in Dirt this year?
Not yet, but you can go vote for yourself.
I can go vote for myself. Okay. Zoran style.
Yeah. I'm going to look in the affiliate dashboard of Bookshop and tell you which books we sold the most of at Dirt. We referred the most people to. So, interesting. It seems to be a tie.
My Struggle Volume 1 and My Struggle Volume 2.
No, it's a tie between Sloppy and
Oh.
The Dry Season.
You hear that, publishers? Come on Tasteland and we'll sell your book.
I can also tell that some of these I use the same affiliate link for my book list that I have pinned in my
your famous book list
Twitter.
where you track all your books for all to see. My book list, I see Letterboxd. You could find my Letterboxd profile, but my book list is in my notes app.
Whoever went into my personal book list on December 9th, 2025.
They just went in and bought like the last 10 books.
I hope there's a hot girl. I hope there's a hot girl somewhere in Brooklyn getting all 4 of these books. I'm just going to say them. Sorry. I don't know if this is doxing, but we don't know who you are. Convenience Store Woman, The Dry Season, I Love Shopping, and Joe Brainerd. Amazing taste. When I first saw this appear on the dashboard, I was like, wow, this person has amazing taste. And I was like, oh, that's me. This person ordered books off my list. But they picked good ones off of my list. So like.
Yeah. You know what I'm reading right now? My current book, which I've never read before, though I've had it for like a couple of years. I just never read it. Speedboat by Renata Adler.
Oh, Renata Adler is somebody I've been hearing about more and more.
Mm-hmm. I remember I had the book, and then was it when Lauren Euler's last book came out, and what the critic called her?
The Renata Adler
looking at your phone
too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that we both had that memorized. That was queued up.
In some ways, though, Cora Lewis's Information Age is much more akin to Speedboat in form than Lauren Euler's essay book was.
I agree.
Yeah.
Spirit of Law, not the letter of the law.
Spirit of the law, not the letter. I'm not even going to finish saying that because I need to just exercise my mind of some of these Twitterisms that are also Trumpisms. Just
I know it's not fair. Cathedrals
responses.
Everywhere.
Well, that's Peterson. That's a good one.
You're going to keep that in the lexicon.
Well, this is and I guess going back to this conversation about getting off your phone. This is why it's to remove these canned thoughts from your mind.
Well, somebody needs to remove Girl Moss canned from their mind because this company with like so many followers posted a Girl Moss meme.
And with no credit.
It was pretty much bar for my
intellectual
Twitter
property
tweet.
theft.
Yeah, that's fine. Girl Moss belongs to everyone.
You can tell me if you think this is true, but I think your recycled tweet or reposted tweet that was repurposed for Instagram, your in that way, your tweet of the year. I don't even know if it's from this year, but that one I've seen it multiple times about there should be a magazine about deer that isn't just about killing them.
That was from this year. It seems like a long time ago, but that was from this year, and
especially in deer years,
went crazy in a way that I was not entirely expecting. Although now I'm questioning myself, like maybe that wasn't from this year.
This year was so long.
It's from 2024.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Camera roll doesn't lie. I tweeted it on October 28th, 2024. So it's 2025 in the same way that heavy metal is 2025.
Yes. Yeah. December. I mean, the
Q4 2024, we can round it up.
It's it's like a fiscal year, but what would you call this? The editorial year, the opinions year, the editorial year. Maybe you can help me come up with a better name here. Runs from December through November.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of editorial calendars actually that look a lot more like the school year, though.
Yeah, true. Actually, I noticed we at Creator Spotlight, we have a summer drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, on a school year drop off, you could say.
You're gonna get an intern?
No, I've had some.
Remember when I had 4 interns? That was like too many. I think
that was like when we started doing this podcast.
I think I might have a tasteful number for spring, maybe 2.
What will you have them doing?
All sorts of things. Danny's been telling me that it is significant legwork to be in the Figma for ick.fyi, updating everyone's icks. So we might need some help with that.
Yeah.
I had somebody email me and pitch them as an
editorial design intern. Perfect.
Editorial design. Somebody pitched themselves as a Dirt Books intern. I was like, this person's very on top of it. Dirt Books doesn't even exist yet.
Cool. Well,
we book gossiped it into existence.
We book gossiped. Yes. Let the rage bait you create
light your path.
Build the bridges that you burn.
Yes, this has been Tasteland.
This is Tasteland. We're done. We're done. Thanks for listening.